The question is, discuss the nature and characteristic of Arctic polar vortex. Add a brief note on its origin. Well, the topic is completely conceptual in nature, and this is a topic that is always and often going to be repeated, keeps on getting repeated, and largely to be repeated for a variety of reasons. Because during the winters, this is one climatological phenomenon, one meteorological phenomenon that is going to affect the whole of the Northern Hemisphere, particularly North America, to a less extent Europe, and to one extent Siberia as well. So what we need to know is what exactly is a polar vortex, what are its characteristics, and how is it that it goes on to originate. Now, to understand it in a better manner and to make it understand to the examiner will be looking for what type of diagrams that you're going to draw, how clear are you with respect to your concepts and ideas in this case, and that is what will go on to propel you to take it forward as well. Now, to make it very, very simple and short, we say that the polar vortex is a large pocket of very cold air. That means an air that is going to be sitting over the Northern Hemisphere and keeps on moving over the Northern Hemisphere, and it is going to be in the form of a vortex. That means this is the way that it goes on to move. How is it that a vortex goes on to look like? If you can go to understand it and analyze it, you will understand it better. That is, a polar vortex is going to be like that. If this is going to be the Earth, then that's how the air will go on to move over the polar areas. This is the way. That is, we are going to be talking about, assuming that this is the Northern Hemisphere, and this is how polar vortex goes on to look like. Now, this polar vortex goes on to be existing in two places. That means they are going to be having two centers, and they are going to be existing in two different places. One of them is going to be over North America, and another of it is going to be in Asia. Now, if you can go on to take a look at it, you will understand it better. These are two areas. One of them goes into exist in this place. That is going to be one center, and this is going in Asia. That is going to be over another of this center. That is going to be here. So there are going to be two centers over which it goes to exist. That is North America, and one portion of North America. It is going to be over Gulf of Baffin Islands, and around Siberia. So around the North Pole, the Arctic vortex spins in a clockwise, anti-clockwise manner. Now, if you consider this is going to be your polar vortex, that is going to be the Earth, and that is the polar vortex, then this is how exactly it goes on to spin. It spins in an anti-clockwise manner. Other than that, from here to here, its dimension is, in this dimension is going to be 1,000 kilometers of sorts. And it goes on to move. So, the vortex can go on to, although it is going to be here, but it can go on to spill out. Spill out, that means it can go on to come to this place, it can go to come to this place as well. That is what we go on to be calling it as spilling itself out. And why is it that it can go on to spill itself out in these regions? It can go on to spill itself out because of a variety of reasons as well. And this spilling can go on to be because of a high pressure. Now this is, understand it, this is the place that we're going to be talking about, that is the existence of polar vortex. And see this arrow that goes on to move in an anti-clockwise manner. This is the way that that movement takes place. That's the way that the movement goes on to take place. And it is bounded here by the jet stream. If you can go on to take a look at the jet stream, this goes on to bind it in this place. We are going to be talking about, that is the whole of this region is going to 1,000 kilometers over the polar areas. But when it happens that from here, there is a high pressure system that moves from here a high pressure system that goes on to move in this region, sir. Then what this high pressure system goes on to do is that it goes on to push it. It goes on to push it from here. And then the resultant effect of this pushing is that the whole of this vortex goes on to getting itself is spilling out in the northern region, in North America. See, this case, there is some of this spilling out has taken place here. This is from where it has been squeezed. This is the place from where it has been squeezed. And that is the spilling. This is the spilling that we are going to be talking about. And it is this spilling that is responsible for bringing some real cold conditions to whole of North America. Can you imagine? That is, in places like New York, the temperature can go on to drop to minus 50 degrees centigrade. So that is the way that it goes on to originate. Its characteristic can go on to be in some of these forms. First is that polar vortex is a persistent large-scale cyclone that encircles the whole of a geographical pole. Persistent, large-scale. Persistent, that means it keeps on persisting. And it's not small. It is going to be large-scale cyclone. And when we are going to be talking about large-scale cyclone, we are essentially talking about it's not of a small dimension at all. And by a small dimension, we are not talking about something that is about what is thunderstorm type of. It's not. It's large scale system. The second is that the base of the polar vortex are located in the middle and the upper troposphere. It is not going to be at a lower level. It is going to be extending even in the stratosphere as well. The third is that it surrounds the polar high in the wake of a polar front. That is, it goes on to occupy the polar high. That is the third characteristic of it. The fourth characteristic is that it is stronger in a winter and weaker in the summer season. And this is because of the temperature difference that goes on to take place. The fifth characteristic is that it goes on to usually span less than 1,000 kilometers in diameter, and within which the air circulates in a counterclockwise manner in the northern hemisphere and in a clockwise manner in the southern hemisphere. And then the other characteristic is that is a large, powerful, high-pressure system that originates in western and eastern Pacific and can go to stretch all the way up till this region, can go on to allow it to spill. And when we go on to be talking about that, is can go on to allow it to spill over these regions. That means something different. This is what we are going to be talking about. That is, when it goes on to squeeze it from this side, it allows the whole of the cold air to spill in this region, which is going to be indicated by a blue line. This is the line that goes on to indicate it. And because of it, it is responsible for delivering sub-zero temperatures in the United States and Canada for several days at a time. And then how is it that it goes on to be restored? When this is stronger, stops pushing it, then it goes on to come back to its original position. And that is how it is characterized by. That is what the demand of this question must have been. This question is very, very mark switching. You can go on to get 10 out of 10 or 15 out of 15 as the answer demands in this case, provided the basic 2-3 diagrams are the one that you can go on to draw.
To have more such discussions and analysis, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for notifications on our upcoming videos.